Hello and welcome to a new video. In this video, we shall be discussing how to solve quadratic equations by factorization. So let's proceed. We have 2x squared minus x minus 1 equals 0. So the first thing we do is we write two brackets. And then there are certain steps that we take. First of all, we take the first term and we copy it down in the first bracket and in the second bracket. But we do not write the power. So we just write 2x. And then the second step would be to take the first sign and put it in the first bracket. But in the second bracket, we do not put the second sign. We put the product of the two signs. So we have negative multiplied by negative. That gives us positive. And that's what we put in the second bracket. Next, we want to find the second term of each bracket. And in order to do that, we ask ourselves. So we have two numbers that we don't know. When multiplied together, they give us the same answer or the same result as these two numbers multiplied together. So a times b equals -2. And at the same time, their difference is equal to the middle number. The middle number here, you might think to yourself, there is no middle number, but there actually is, because negative x is the same as negative 1x. So the middle number here is -1. And I used subtraction because I already know that they're going to have opposite signs, because we already put opposite signs in the bracket. Or you can just think to yourself, since the second sign here is negative, then we use subtraction. If the second sign is positive, then we use addition. So finally, I need to find two numbers whose product is -2 and whose difference is -1. The two numbers, of course, are simple. You just have to write 1 minus 2 equals -1, because 1 multiplied by -2 gives you -2, and 1 minus 2 simply gives you -1. So our two numbers are +1 and -2. So next to the positive, we're going to write 1. Next to the negative, we're going to write 2. And then we proceed to simplify. So for each bracket, we need to figure out if there is some sort of simplification we can do. If we have 2 and 2, just cross them out and write 1 and 1 instead. So it becomes 1x minus 1 times 2x plus 1 equal to 0. Of course, we don't really write 1x minus 1. We just write x minus 1 times 2x plus 1 equals to 0. We are done with factorization. All we have to do now is to solve this equation. How do we solve it? Simply by solving each bracket on its own. So if you have two brackets multiplied by each other, giving you 0, all you have to do is to solve each bracket on its own. So either x minus 1 equals 0 or 2x plus 1 equals 0. In the first case, x equals 1. In the second case, x equals -1/2. So I just simply solved by taking the 1 to the other side, so it became -1. And then I divided by 2, and I got -½ So these are two final answers, and we are done. Let's check the written answer, just to make sure we are on the right track. You will find in the written answer as well that the two possibilities are x equals 1 and x equals -½ So let's try another similar problem. We have 3x squared minus 2x minus 5 equals 0. So let's start by writing down the two brackets, taking the first term but without the power. So we just have 3x and 3x. Taking the first sign, putting it in the first bracket, multiplying the signs and putting that in the second bracket. Then asking ourselves, what are two numbers multiplied together to give us 3 times -5? So a times b equals -15. And the difference between them, a minus b, is equal to -2, which is the middle number. We know that it's a difference, not a sum, because the second sign here is negative, and then equals this number right here. So what are two numbers which multiplied together would give us 15 or -15, and whose difference is -2? The correct answer would be 3 minus 5. Because 3 multiplied by -5 gives us -15, and 3 minus 5 gives us -2. So we have +3 and -5. Next, we proceed to simplify. 3 and 5 do not have a common factor. However, 3 and 3 become 1 and 1. So our brackets become x plus 1 multiplied by 3x minus 5 equal to 0. And then we solve each bracket on its own. So we have 3x minus 5 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. Here we get 3x equals 5. So x equals 5 over 3. Here we simply get x equals -1. So the final answers are 5 over 3 and -1. Let's check. They are correct. We got the same answers as they did here. So this brings us to the end of our video. I hope this has been beneficial. Thank you for watching.